All right, we're here with Ricardo Lara. He underwent shockwave treatment for ankle injury, and we're just going to ask a few questions. All right, so Ricardo, prior to the EPAT or shockwave treatment, what was the feeling of the ankle like before you started treatment?
So for a couple years, I've had a little bit of restriction in my movement, specifically when I brought my foot up. And so I've been feeling that for a while, kind of ignored it, and just thought, this year had nothing else going on. Why not take the time to address it and fix it before it becomes a bigger issue?
Cool. And kind of describing shockwave in your own words, like what did the treatment feel like during that process, and how long was it that you went through the shockwave treatment?
So I did 4 sessions. The first time it felt like an electric shock, like nothing harsh. It was just the initial bite, and then it was kind of like tickling. I guess is the easiest way to describe it. A little bit more, like hotter than that, but it's the easiest way. It wasn't painful. It was just a different feeling. Definitely something that you're not used to. Not at least not something that I've done before. But it felt pretty good. Definitely like the intensities. There was certain spots where it was really tight that it definitely like you felt it a lot more. But it was pretty good. I did 4 sessions. So it was pretty good.
And how long was it that it started to take effect? Like when did you start noticing the biggest difference in terms of the healing process?
So I think it took somewhere between like the second and third treatment. I think around the third treatment is where I actually noticed the difference. The first two, it wasn't too big of a difference. I noticed how I felt immediately after, but then, a few days after that, there wasn't a big difference. By the third one, though, is when I realized there was a bigger change in my range of motion. I was moving around a lot more freely, and I wasn't thinking about the fact that it was restricted.
And prior to the kind of injury, or I guess prior to the treatment and now, like how much running were you doing before and how much running are you doing currently?
So I was building up. I started running consistently just in the past few years. So I'd say I was doing somewhere between like 10 and 15 miles and a week. I'm sorry. And now I'm up to roughly 30, 36 miles a week. So significantly more miles a week.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your answers, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course.